After a fierce battle that drained everything, Jin Woo finally stood victorious. Demon King Baran had fallen before him, ending the terrifying creature's dominance over this place. As Baran's body dissolved into dust, the system immediately gave out his rewards. A message floated before his eyes, displaying the first item he had obtained, the Demon Monarch Ring. A ring that looked simple, yet held incredible power. This ring was able to increase 20 points in the Saints and intelligence attributes. However, the true power of this ring did not stop there. This was the final piece of the Demon Monarch set that Jin Woo had long collected. With this ring, the entire set was finally complete, unlocking the full effect hidden behind its great name, the true power of the Demon Lord. Then the next reward appeared, the Demon King's longsword. A longsword that radiated a menacing aura, as if it still held the wrath of Demon King Baran himself. This sword had a special ability, creating a lightning magic effect in a certain area, capable of paralyzing anyone in its path. Not finished there, the third item appeared with a sharp glint, the Demon King's dagger. A dagger with a sleek yet deadly design. With an additional 220 attack points, this dagger is capable of inflicting deep wounds in an instant. In addition, Jin Woo also received 2 horns belonging to Baran, a symbol of the legendary creature's power. However, the true reward that was most awaited finally appeared, purified blood of the Demon King. This rare material is made from the purified blood of the Demon Monarch, a key component that Jin Woo greatly desired. This was the last ingredient he needed to create the legendary potion, Holy Water of Life, the only hope to cure his mother's long-standing illness. Without wasting any time, Jin Woo immediately began the crafting process. He mixed the essential ingredients carefully. Seconds passed with tension, until finally, crafting successful. You have obtained 6 Holy Water of Life items. A relieved smile was etched on Jin Woo's face. Now in his hands was a potion that had the power to cure all diseases. He stared at the magical liquid with great anticipation. So this is Holy Water of Life? Hopefully this can really cure my mother, he thought hopefully. On the other side, Iron approached with something extraordinary, the corpse of Baran's dragon mount, Kaizelin. Iron handed it to Jin Woo with great pride. Seeing that, Jin Woo smiled. Now you're getting smart, Iron. He then stepped closer to the majestic dragon's body. In a low but firm voice, he gave the command, "Rise." A pitch-black aura crept out of the dragon's body, and in an instant, the terrifying creature reawakened as a loyal shadow. Jin Woo named his new creation Kaizel. Shil, who saw the creature's awakening, was shocked beyond belief. With this dragon, we can return to the Raider clan quickly. My father will definitely be very happy. Maybe he'll throw a big party, he said enthusiastically. However, Jin Woo had other concerns. In his mind, doubts arose. Should I go down these floors one by one? It will take a long time. I need to go to the hospital soon. Shortly after, the system gave a new notification. The Soul Hunt. Part 2 mission has been completed. The rewards began to pour in. The first, an additional 30 stat points, a huge boost to Jin Woo's strength. The second, a new prestigious title, Demon Hunter, a title that showed his courage in facing the strongest demons. However, the last reward really caught his attention, the Shadow Exchange Runestone. Jin Woo wondered what kind of ability was hidden within the stone. Without hesitation, he grabbed it and immediately activated the rune. In an instant, a new power flowed through him, Shadow Exchange. This skill allowed Jin Woo to switch places with any shadow of his choice. With a cooldown of 3 hours, this power gave him the freedom to move instantly. What an amazing skill. No matter where my shadow is, I can switch places with them, Jin Woo thought, impressed by the potential of his new ability. However, time did not wait. Jin Woo looked at Eshel with guilt. I'm sorry, Eshel. I can't take you back to the 80th floor. I have to go now. Eshel looked at him in confusion. Wait, Mr. Jin Woo. What about our agreement? Jin Woo just smiled faintly. Next time, I'll visit you again. With that, a dark shadow began to cover his body. Shadow Exchange was activated. In an instant, Jin Woo disappeared from Eshel's sight, replaced by a shadow soldier. The soldier stood still, while Jin Woo had moved away, leaving the battlefield with one clear goal: to save his mother. After Jin Woo activated Shadow Exchange, his body immediately moved to the location where his shadow was. Now he was near his residence. Without wasting any time, he immediately called Kaisel. As soon as his shadow dragon appeared, Jin Woo mounted it, preparing to dash towards the hospital, where his mother lay weak. Meanwhile, at the Hunter Association office, a serious discussion was taking place between Woo Jin-chul and Chairman Go Gun-hee. They were discussing the preparations for the big raid on Jeju Island that was getting closer. "This is a video recording sent from Japan," said Go Gun-hee while playing a video from a magic-detecting satellite camera. In the video, it was seen how, during the previous 3 attacks, all the ants had indeed left their nests, except for the guards and the queen. Chairman Go Gun-hee asked, "Is it possible that the ants will return sooner than we thought?" Woo Jin-chul nodded slowly. "It could be. The ants communicate through special signals that only they can understand." However, Goto Ryuji, one of the strongest hunters from Japan, had prepared a plan to disrupt their communication with a signal jammer. "With this tool, we can attack the queen without worrying about them coming back early," he explained. However, in the middle of the conversation, Chairman Go Gun-hee suddenly felt something strange. A large magical energy swept through the room, making the atmosphere suddenly tense. "What was that?" he muttered, surprised. Elsewhere, Baek Yun-ho, who was relaxing in a cafe, also felt the same energy pressure. He turned to his colleague, a healer-type hunter named Min Byung-gu. "You felt it too, didn't you?" he asked in a serious tone. "Could it be—" "It was just Choi Jong-in and Cha Hae-In arguing over their salaries," his colleague joked, trying to lighten the mood. Meanwhile, Jin Woo finally arrived at the hospital. With a pounding heart, he opened the bottle of holy water of life, a magical liquid that could cure all diseases. With great hope, he poured the potion into his mother's mouth as she lay weak. "Please get well, Mom," he whispered in his heart. Slowly, his mother's previously pale face began to show signs of change. The color in her cheeks began to return. However, her eyes remained tightly closed. Why haven't you woken up yet?" Jin Woo thought, starting to be overcome with anxiety. Seconds passed until finally his mother's eyelids began to move. A weak but warm voice was heard. "Jin Woo? Is that you? How long have I been asleep?" Seeing his mother awake, Jin Woo froze, his eyes burning. "4 years, Mom. It's been 4 years," he answered in a trembling voice. His mother smiled warmly. "What about Jin-ah? Is she okay?" he asked softly. "She's healthy, Mom. She's always waiting for you to come back," Jin Woo answered. Tears of joy could no longer be held back. The sincerity of his mother, who felt guilty for making her children suffer all this time, made the atmosphere even more touching. Not long after, Jin-ah came in a hurry. As soon as she saw that her mother was awake, she immediately hugged her tightly while crying with emotion. Jin Woo just stared at the scene with a smile, feeling like all his hard work had finally paid off. "I know, all of this is worth it," Jin Woo thought to himself. "This moment is the greatest gift of all that I have been through." After a while, Jin Woo chose to get some fresh air in the hospital garden. Sitting on a bench, he opened his phone and looked at the latest news. One of the news caught his attention, a report about the appearance of a dragon flying in the sky of Korea. Jin Woo realized that it was when he flew with Kaisel earlier. Suddenly, his phone rang. Chairman Go Gun-hee's name appeared on the screen. "Have you seen the news, Hunter Sung?" Go Gun-hee asked directly. "Is there a problem, Chairman?" "I just came back from a place with no signal," Jin Woo replied. "Then, let me explain directly. May I visit you?" "No need, Chairman. I'd rather come directly to the association office," Jin Woo said, quickly deciding. Not long after, Jin Woo arrived at the association office. As soon as they met, Chairman Go Gun-hee immediately started a serious conversation. "In 4 days, we will be conducting a raid on Jeju Island. We need your help to exterminate all the ants there," Hunter Sung. "Everyone wants to take back the island." Jin Woo paused for a moment. Normally, he would have immediately agreed to a mission like this because of the potential of facing high-level monsters, but now his mind was occupied with his family. He didn't want to leave them again. However, before he could give an answer, he suddenly felt a strong wave of magical energy sweeping around him. Chairman Go Gun-hee saw his expression. "What's wrong, Hunter Sung?" he asked. "It seems there's a big battle going on nearby," Jin Woo answered seriously. Chairman Go Gun-hee smiled in admiration. "Your senses are indeed extraordinary. I didn't think you could sense it from this far away. The S-rank hunters are currently training in preparation for the raid on Jeju Island." Jin Woo frowned. "Goto Ryuji? Is he among them?" "That's right. The strongest XS hunter from Japan is indeed there. Do you want to meet him?" On the other hand, in the training area, Hunter Baek Yoon-ho is sparring against one of the renowned guildmasters, Ma Dong-wook of the Fame Guild. The Fame Guild is one of the 5 largest guilds in South Korea, known for its strength and reputation that dominates the Hunam region. In the middle of the training arena filled with the aura of competition, a fierce fight was clearly taking place. Master Ma Dong-wook managed to take down Baek Yoon-ho with an impressive throwing technique. In a firm but challenging tone, Dong-wook said, "Master Baek Yoon-ho, with that much power, you should still be able to improve your attacks. Your potential is far from maximum." Yoon-ho only replied with a calm smile, full of fighting spirit. Without hesitation, he stood back up and continued the fight, proving his determination that was not easily defeated. Not long after, amidst the hustle and bustle of the arena, Chairman Go Gun-hee arrived with Jin Woo. They stood at the edge of the arena, watching the fight with rapt attention. "It is rare to see so many S-rank hunters gathered in one place like this," Chairman Gun-hee said, admiring the sight before him. He glanced at Jin Woo for a moment before continuing. "The magical energy you felt earlier seemed to come from them," Hunter Sung. Jin Woo watched the duel closely, then commented, "Hunter Baek Yoon-ho seemed to be being pushed back little by little." Suddenly, another voice echoed, interrupting Jin Woo's focus. "However, if Baek Yoon-ho fights with all his heart, Ma Dong-wook will have no chance of winning," said Choi Jong-in, who had also been watching the training. Jin Woo turned around, looking at Jong-in curiously. "What do you mean, Master Choi? Are you saying that Baek Yoon-ho is underestimating Ma Dong-wook?" he asked. Jong-in shook his head slowly. "That's not what I mean. The problem is, when surrounded by many people, Baek Yoon-ho has difficulty controlling his power. Sometimes he can't tell who is an enemy and who is an ally. If he fights with all his might, he can turn into a terrifying figure, like a wild animal that has lost control." Soon after, the atmosphere of the training arena suddenly changed. A large group entered the room, drawing the attention of everyone there. They were the 10 strongest S-rank hunters from Japan who had just arrived in Korea to join the preparations for the big raid on Jeju Island. Their names echoed like a series of living legends. Ippei Izawa, Mari Ishida, Ken Tanaka, Minoru Hoshino, Atsushi Kumamoto, Kanai Tawada, Tatsumi Fujishima, Kei, Akari Shimizu, and of course, Goto Ryuji, Japan's strongest hunter whose reputation had become world famous. Jin Woo, from where he stood, watched Goto Ryuji's figure sharply. "So, is that Goto Ryuji? The best S-rank hunter from Japan?" he muttered to himself. On the other hand, Akari Shimizu's gaze was fixed on Jin Woo. Curiosity radiated from her eyes. "Who is that man?" she asked Hanakawa, who was standing beside her. Hanakawa answered flatly, "He is Sung Jin Woo, a Korean hunter who had just reached S-rank. His name has started to be reckoned with lately." Goto Ryuji watched Jin Woo with a sharp gaze. "Even though he seems to be hiding his strength, I can feel his presence. Incredibly strong," he said softly. "He seems to be a very skilled assassin-type hunter." Hanakawa could only shake her head slowly as she said, "Are you sure? Isn't he actually a mage-type hunter?" Hearing that, Goto Ryuji furrowed his brows, looking at Jin Woo once again with an expression of disbelief. "A mage-type hunter? That's impossible." Even the newly arrived Japanese hunters began to notice Jin Woo's presence. Hunter Lim Taegyu observed with sharp eyes and commented, "Isn't that Sung Jin Woo, the hunter who ruined Lim Min Sung's debut before? This is my first time seeing him in person." Hae-In, who also noticed the aura dominating the room, added, "No wonder the atmosphere here suddenly changed. So he's here too." From the other side, Ishida, who was looking at Jin Woo with narrowed eyes, said, "Kay, isn't he the 10th S-rank hunter from South Korea?" Without looking away, Kay replied in a lazy tone, "Don't talk to me, Ishida. I could throw up from the smell of the hunters here." Apparently, Kay had a similar sensitivity to smells as Hae-In. Meanwhile, on the other side of the room, the fierce duel between Baek Yoon-ho and Ma Dong-wook was still going on. Seeing them, Hanakawa sneered. "So this is the so-called best hunter in South Korea? Honestly, they don't look that great compared to us." However, Ryuji immediately denied it. That wasn't entirely true. At least there was still one hunter worth considering. His gaze shifted to Hae-In. In a mumbling tone, he said, "Hae-In and Kokonoe are on par with our best members." Unbeknownst to him, their conversation was overheard by someone standing not far away. "Hey, translator, what did you say just now? You said Korean hunters are lousy? Do you think I don't understand Japanese?" Someone's voice was heard, full of assertiveness. Hanakawa turned her head and found a man standing confidently in front of her. "Who are you guys?" she asked in an indifferent tone. The man beside her replied, "This person is Park Jung-soo, an A-rank hunter and guild master of the Night Guild." Hanakawa's eyes narrowed, but she still underestimated her opponent. "Sorry, this is the first time I've heard that name. You guys also participated in the raid on Jeju Island? I heard that only S-rank hunters are allowed to participate." Jung-soo and his assistant were clearly offended, but chose to remain silent without replying to Hanakawa's words. Ryuji immediately intervened. "Hanakawa, don't cause trouble for no reason." Jung-soo sighed and said, "Enough already. A translator won't understand the situation that is happening." Hanakawa, who felt belittled, immediately put on a sarcastic face. "Huh? What did you say? Do you want to test my abilities directly?" Confidently, she reintroduced herself. "I'm Hanakawa, an A-rank hunter from Japan." The challenge came from her lips. "How about we duel?" Jung-soo chuckled and replied, You're just a female translator. Don't underestimate us." Hanakawa smirked. "Are you scared? Maybe you're not the fighting type, huh?" Jung-soo stared at her sharply before finally saying, "Okay, if that's what you want, but let's set our own rules instead of beating each other up. The rules are simple. Whoever grabs the opponent's arm first wins." Hanakawa nodded, smiling confidently. "Interesting, but are you sure you can fight with that stance?" Jung-soo remained calm. "Don't worry, I don't even need to use my hands for this," Hanakawa thought to herself. She seems very confident in her speed. All right, let's get started. As soon as the command was given, Hanakawa shot up at high speed, attacking with a flurry of attacks. However, Jung-soo easily dodged all of her attacks. "Damn it, I'll expose your cheap tricks," she thought to herself. However, Hanakawa's hands suddenly flew back. Jung-soo said casually, "Just so you know, that wasn't an attack, just a light push." Hanakawa flinched, but immediately grinned. "Don't get too confident yet. Look, your pants are torn." Hearing that, Jung-soo immediately looked down and his face turned red. Hanakawa took advantage of the moment to attack, but to her surprise, Jung-soo moved faster and grabbed her arm. Hanakawa was speechless. "What just happened?" Jung-soo smiled faintly. "It seems like you are the type of hunter who always stays behind the tanker. There seems to be no experience fighting against humans." He continued, "In Korea, problems often occur. Inevitably, there will be times when you have to fight against other humans. Unlike monsters, humans do not move in simple patterns. If only I had a knife, I could have slashed your neck instead of just grabbing your arm." From a distance, Ryuji, who was watching the duel, nodded with interest. "An interesting duel. Hanakawa, can you convey my message to everyone?" Hanakawa took a breath and replied, "Of course." Ryuji then began to speak. "In order to build trust with each other, I propose something to the Korean hunters. How about we hold a sparring match between S-rank hunters with the same rules as before? Chairman Kaguri stepped forward and said, "All right, go for it. But for mage-type hunters or non-fighters, they can't participate because it's hard to judge their abilities in a duel like this." Yunho, who had been watching with great enthusiasm, said, "Let's make a little variation. Whoever can touch their opponent or make them unconscious, they win. And we'll change the format from one-on-one to a team battle." Hanakawa then conveyed the proposal to Ryuji. Hearing it, Ryuji nodded. "Is that so? I understand. The first team that can make their opponent unconscious will have the advantage. If they only rely on holding hands, of course, assassin-type hunters will have a big advantage. But okay, I agree." Immediately after that, both teams prepared. From the Korean side, the team consisted of Baek Yunho, Ma Dong-wook, Cha Hae-In, and Lim Tae-gyu. While from the Japanese side, their team consisted of Kenzo Tanaka, Minoru Hoshino, Atsushi Kumamoto, and Kanai Tawada. The 4 versus 4 battle began. From afar, Jin Woo watched with sharp eyes and muttered softly, "It seems like Goto Ryuji isn't joining the fight. Is he just trying to assess our abilities?" But that's how it is. It's rare to have the opportunity to witness a fight between fellow S-rank hunters. I was lucky to be here. Now the two teams, Japan and Korea, were standing opposite each other. Hunter Ma Dong-wook activated his ability and said, "All right, let's start," Tanaka thought to himself. I didn't expect Ma Dong-wook to have the ability to transform into a giant. It seems like he's someone who likes a fight of pure strength. How interesting. A man should fight like that. Let's see who's stronger. Tanaka and Ma Dong-wook immediately sped up, exchanging blows with full force. The boom of their attacks shook the room, creating a powerful wave of pressure. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hoshino was hurtling towards Lim Tae-gyu. Tae-gyu grumbled, "Damn, he must be relying on his speed. I have to keep my distance." From his hand, Tae-gyu summoned several magic arrows and shouted, "Take this magic arrow." Several magic arrows shot towards Hoshino and the others. Hoshino swiftly dodged. "Damn, I almost got hit," Hoshino said in his heart. Behind him, Kumamoto and Tawada also managed to escape. "We have to get rid of this magic user immediately. Hoshino, quickly defeat him," Kumamoto said. The Goguni leader who was watching their fight said, "Even though this building is reinforced with the best magic gemstones, these hunters are still able to mess up the room in a matter of seconds." On one side, Yunho changed form, preparing to attack. Kumamoto thought to himself, "This rule is really ridiculous, but I'll follow it and only aim for the arms or back." In an instant, Kumamoto darted behind Yunho, preparing to attack. However, suddenly he changed his mind and retreated. "Damn, why am I getting nervous?" Kumamoto muttered. Yunho, who realized this, thought, "I felt a killing intent from him earlier. But why is he retreating now? Is he afraid? It seems like Goto Ryuji wants to test us using this guy. Okay, I'll get serious too." Yunho's hands turned white. His eyes became sharper. He immediately shot forward, clawing towards Kumamoto. However, Kumamoto managed to avoid it. On the other hand, Park Jung-soo, who was watching the fight between the S-rank hunters, thought to himself, "These guys are really monsters. My fight just now felt like child's play." The fight became more intense. Suddenly, a huge explosion occurred. Ma Dong-wook was defeated. Tanaka said, "It seems like in a battle of pure strength, I am the winner." At the same time, Tae-gyu was slammed into the wall hard. "Ah, damn," Tae-gyu groaned. Hoshino grinned. "It seems like this is my victory, huh?" Baek Yunho sighed. With the defeat of Ma Dong-wook and Lim Tae-gyu, now he had to face 3 people at once. He said, "You must think it's easier to fight me than Cha Hae-In. It seems like you underestimated me." In the corner of the arena, Cha Hae-In continued to attack Tawada without giving the slightest gap. Tawada was increasingly cornered and thought, "What kind of attack is this?" At first I thought he was only relying on speed, but it turns out I can't even catch his movements. Yes, Cha Hae-In is known as a hunter with the nickname, the Dancer. The name was given because of her graceful yet deadly movements, as if she was dancing on the battlefield. With her fast and sharp attacks, she was able to knock down her opponents before they could react. However, because of her shy nature, her guild leader forbade the use of that nickname, so not many people knew about this. With amazing fighting skills, Hae-In continued to attack from various directions, making Tawada even more difficult. Tawada tried to launch a counterattack, but Hae-In moved faster and made a decisive counterattack. Although she tried to dodge, Tawada finally realized that the difference in their strength was so great. In an instant, Hae-In jumped behind Tawada and easily touched his back. "Touch! I win," she said in a confident tone. Once she successfully defeated Tawada, Hae-In immediately ran to help Baekhyun-ho. However, suddenly Kumamoto darted from behind, intending to attack her. But with extraordinary reflexes, Hae-In immediately launched a series of consecutive punches to Kumamoto's face, sending him flying backwards. From a distance, Shimizu and Fujishima, who witnessed the scene, commented in awe. "Did you see that? It was like a Gatling gun. In one attack, he could launch 14 consecutive punches." Meanwhile, Hae-In looked a little surprised with herself. "Oh my, I overdid it," she thought to herself. However, her brutal attack had provoked Kumamoto's anger. Her flushed face and sudden change in aura indicated that she was getting serious. The Japanese hunters who saw the change muttered, "It looks like this fight is going to get even more terrifying." When anger takes over him, Kumamoto changes into a completely different person. His personality does a complete 180-degree turn. His common sense simply disappears, making him unable to distinguish between friend and foe. In this state, he can even attack his own teammates without hesitation. His ferocity is so extraordinary that he is able to conquer a B-rank dungeon alone. Seeing the situation escalating, Goto Ryuji frowned. This could be dangerous. If he is not stopped soon, the Korean team could suffer serious injuries, he muttered in a worried tone. His initial intention was only to test them, not to create a life-and-death battle. However, Kumamoto, who had lost control, now began to attack Hae-In brutally. His attacks were so powerful, they hit the floor and destroyed it instantly. Hae-In tried to dodge as quickly as possible. "Crazy! He's too fast! I can't even see his movements clearly," he thought, feeling that he was now in a very dangerous position. Without giving the slightest gap, Kumamoto launched his devastating attack again. A massive explosion occurred, sending dust and debris flying in all directions. Thick smoke enveloped the battle area, making visibility even more limited. However, amidst the smoke, a silhouette quickly emerged. When the dust began to settle, a figure was seen standing firmly in front of Hae-In. It was Jin Woo. With a calm expression and sharp eyes, he stood as a shield, stopping Kumamoto's attack with ease. Hae-In, who was behind him, stared at him with wide eyes. Meanwhile, Kumamoto, who was still consumed by anger, could only stare at Jin Woo with an expression full of confusion and disbelief.